Welcome to your custom deep dive. Today, we have a fascinating mission tailored just for you.
Yeah, we really do.
Right. We are exploring the invisible, complex infrastructure that actually powers massive, multi-screen video setups. Like, think about sitting in a massive sports bar.
Oh yeah, 50 screens, all perfectly synced.
Exactly. Not a single cable in sight. And to figure out how they do this, we're pulling from an HDTV Supply catalog to look at the specific hardware making it all possible. Okay, let's unpack this. We have to start at the physical foundation, right?
Right, how the signal actually travels through the building in the first place. The source material highlights this critical component called the Liberty Field-termination HD system connectors. They run about $125.
Wow, okay. And looking at the catalog page, they sell these in unbreakable trays of 10. But the wild part to me is that each HDMI certified connector has 5 separate pieces.
Yeah, a body, an upper and lower shell, and 2 sleeves.
It's just, well, it's like getting a custom tailored suit rather than buying off the rack.
Right.
You build the exact cable length you need right there on site. But I have to ask, so why go through the grueling hassle of building a 5-piece connector instead of just buying a pre-made cable?
Well, think about commercial wall conduits. Pulling a thick, pre-made HDMI end through those narrow spaces or tight corners is basically impossible.
Because it just gets stuck.
Exactly, or the pins just snap right off. So
Yeah.
field termination lets installers run the raw, bare cable through the walls first.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that way they can route it perfectly without breaking anything. Then they use those 5 distinct pieces to literally rebuild the delicate HDMI head from scratch at the very end.
That makes a lot of sense. So you've perfectly threaded miles of these custom cables through the walls of your venue.
Right.
But they all eventually have to meet somewhere, like a central AV closet.
Right, they do.
Which brings us to the hardware routing these signals, the Wolfpack matrix switchers. But wait, isn't this just a giant HDMI splitter?
Mhm.
Like, if I have a sport bar, why do I need a matrix?
Well, what's fascinating here is how often those exact terms get confused, and the difference dictate what a venue can actually do. A standard splitter just takes one single video source like, say, one cable box, and forces that exact same game onto every single TV.
Which totally defeats the whole purpose of having 50 screens.
Yeah, exactly. But a matrix switcher fundamentally changes the architecture. It lets you send any source to any TV, completely independently.
Okay, so I could route 16 different games to 16 specific screens on the fly.
Precisely. And the catalog breaks down 2 main types of these Wolfpack switchers. First, you have fixed models.
Right, those are the plug-and-play ones with a hard-coded number of ports, like an 8x8 or 16x16 setup.
Yeah, but if you suddenly expand, like you knock down a wall to add a patio and need way more TVs, you need the modular matrix.
Got it. Because instead of fixed ports, it's an empty chassis that uses swappable input and output cards, right?
You got it. And it scales up massively, handling up to 80 inputs and 80 outputs. Think about the intense processing power required to cross-route 80 high-definition streams simultaneously.
Without dropping a frame.
Right.
That is wild. But here's where it gets really interesting. I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of a bartender on a busy Sunday. Routing 80 different cable boxes to 80 TVs sounds like an absolute nightmare.
Oh, it would be.
I mean, I just want to tap a screen and put the local football game on TV number 4. How does this massive chassis actually interface with the person pouring the beers?
So it requires an entirely separate layer of infrastructure just for user control. You're not limited to pushing buttons on a rack in a dark closet.
Like what kind of controls?
You have front panel buttons, IR remotes, web GIs, and even free iOS and Android apps.
Oh, wow. So you can do it just from a phone.
Yeah, or an iPad. Plus, there's advanced RS-232 and TCP/IP control for third-party systems. Basically, the whole building system wires into a single centralized smart hub, like a Crestron.
Right. So a manager can literally just drag and drop video feeds on a tablet. Actually, there's a customer review from Washington in the source material that highlights why this smart control is so vital.
Is that the one about the mixed resolutions?
Yeah. They praised the system for quickly solving a problem where they had a 4K broadcast on one screen and a standard 1080p feed on another.
Which is a massive technical hurdle. Because usually, if you mix a 4K TV and a 1080p TV on the same feed, the system defaults to the lowest common denominator.
Right, forcing your expensive 4K screen to display a blurry 1080p image. But these matrix switchers just handle it.
Yeah, they actively scale the resolution independently for each output. So the 4K screen gets true 4K, the older screen gets 1080p, and the bartender never even has to think about it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So what does this all mean? The seamless video experiences we completely take for granted are actually powered by highly customized hardware and incredibly adaptable matrix routing.
Yeah, it's an entire hidden ecosystem constantly calculating resolutions and cross-routing data just to make sure the right pixels hit the right screen at the right time.
The next time you walk into a massive sports bar and see dozens of screens playing different games perfectly, look closely at the walls. How many miles of perfectly tailored, field-terminated cables do you think are hiding just out of sight, all loading back to a single modular chassis?